Hi everyone, my name is Julia, and for the story that I read was Second Chance. So this story is about a woman named Joan Kane. Her name was originally Candace, but she changed it because she hated her name, and she changed it after her favorite artist, Joan Baez, B-E-A-Z, I don't know how to say it. So she went to Woodstock to see this Joan perform, her favorite singer. And while she was there, she became a hippie. She was living with hippies. She was working odd jobs, drinking a lot, even though there was alcoholism in her family, smoking weed, doing cocaine, heroin, acid, a whole bunch of drugs, which are obviously terrible for your body. And then later in life, she got into a really bad car accident, and this was before seatbelts were mandated and there were no airbags in cars. So she broke a lot of bones, her face was disfigured, she was hospitalized for many months, and then she got chronic pain and she had hepatitis C. And unlike most, hers became chronic, so she was going into hepatic liver failure. And at the age of 40, she decided she was going to turn her life around, stop doing drugs, no drinking, and she went to physical therapy school to become a physical therapist. Since she had hepatic liver failure at the age of 59, she went to see her physician, and he sent her to Dr. Bloom, who is a liver specialist, and told him that she needed a transplant. So they did a drug test, and she gave proof from her employers and everything that she had been drug-free for 10 years, but they found trace amounts of an amphetamine in her system, which was impossible because she didn't do drugs anymore. So it was an amphetamine-like drug that was like a designer drug, which are drugs slightly altered from their original form that people can sell. So they redid the test and they had the same results. So she was taken off the liver transplant list because you can't get a transplant if you're doing drugs. So then her sample was sent to the author of the book, and he did the test and they found the same thing. So months went by and he went to a conference which was talking about the designer drugs that he became an expert on. So what they figured out was that she thought she was taking Tylenol, but really she was taking trazodone because they just asked her what medication she was on. They didn't get it directly from her physician. So that's what they did, and they figured out that it was trazodone instead of Tylenol, which has the similar structure to a designer drug that is an amphetamine. So then they found out, they retested the sample, and they found the trazodone, and then they called her back up. She got put on the transplant list, but unfortunately she didn't make it. She didn't get her transplant. And yeah, that's pretty much what the story was. I found it interesting how people can change drugs slightly, and then they'll be found as something else in like a urine test. Nothing really confused me about this story. It was pretty simple, but it's just really tragic that this mistake happened and they couldn't figure out until later, and it was too late for her. And I can't relate to this story because I don't do drugs. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed my review. Thanks.